Good morning, everyone. My name is AJ Galazin. I'm your interim minister. My pronouns are he and his. Today we bring our good wishes to the people of our Transylvanian Unitarian Partner Church in Tordot Falva, Romania. They are celebrating the 200th anniversary of their current church building this weekend, and their congregation was founded 455 years ago. I sent the people of Tordot Falva a prayer from our fellowship that Reverend Loyos read at their Thanksgiving service yesterday. Here is an excerpt. The wheel of the year has turned again. What songs of praise can we sing? We rejoice with our friends across the sea, whose lives we may never know completely, but whose caring and friendship we feel on this day. And so we will be celebrating our partner church relationship with Tordot Falva at a special service here in November. Next Sunday, we will be joining with 10 other congregations at the Iowa State Memorial Union for an LGBTQ plus community pride service. This is a historic event of interdenominational proportions. Can you say that with me? Interdenominational proportions. There will be no separate service here or in any of the other churches. We will all be intentionally gathering at the university to show our solidarity with the queer community. And I am deeply honored to be the keynote preacher at that service. And Dana is working with the other religious education practitioners to offer a program for the kids. Parking is the biggest issue. Carpool if you can. Shuttles will be available from both Collegiate Wesley and Collegiate Presbyterian. We hope to see you there. The coffee hour should be fabulous. This is the fourth Sunday of the month, and that means it's Social Justice Sunday. So right after the service at 11:30 in room 3 or on Zoom, David Hansen from the Ames Friends meeting will be speaking to us about immigrants in Ames. Please join us. And now, what if
No, it's not.
All right, good morning and welcome. My name is Nicole Olson and I serve on your fellowship board of directors. I want to thank you all for being here today and extend a special welcome to any visitors that may be with us. If you'd like more information about the fellowship, please visit the welcome table in the fireside room, or you can sign the virtual guest book at uufames.org/guestbook. Whether joining us from home or here in the fellowship hall, we invite you to stay after the service for coffee fellowship, where you can introduce yourself and join in conversation with others. We do have an announcement today. We still need a handful more volunteers for our booth at this year's Pride Festival, which is this coming Saturday. If you're interested, please sign up for a slot at the table in the fireside room, or you can talk to Jamie. Jamie, where are you at? There you are. Okay. Also, there will be a quick info session for volunteers immediately after today's service down in room 3. So, on behalf of this caring, nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you to this sacred space. Here, we invite you into an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, and connections, which may inspire you to understand life in new ways. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Our chalice lighting today is titled On Belonging by the Reverend Karen LeBlanc. This isn't just a place of worship. This isn't just a fellowship of like minds. This isn't just a Sunday morning filled with spirit and topped off with coffee and cookies. This is our church, our congregation, where we are building beloved community, where we are opening ourselves up to each other, where we trust and love, rise and fall together. This is where we feel safe. This is where we know we are welcomed. This is where we belong. For this gift and for so many others, we light our chalice. Now enjoy the music from Fellowship Voices. We are celebrating Cynthia's final Sunday with us. So please take that in mind.
There you go. There it is.
More music now. Please stand and bow to your spirit for hymn number 1028.
No, oh, yeah.
You're next.
You're right. You're right.
From the battle is the bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of the movement sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to draw us on our way, we live in assurance of the flame that burns within.
have to apologize to Sue because I thought she was off in the order of service. Because the beautiful choir, I thought that was our opening hymn. So we had 2 hymns in a row. Time for All Ages, our story is Someone Builds the Dream, written by Lisa Wheeler and Lauren Long. And I need you to help me in this story. Do you know the word but? Every so often I'll go like this and we'll go, but, can we try that? But, all across this great big world, no, there's nothing in there. Jobs are getting done by many hands in many lands. It takes much more than one. An architect creates a space. She'll draw, redraw, measure, and trace a woodsy, warm, and peaceful place. But someone works to guide the saws, plane the logs, and lead the team. Someone needs to pound the nails. Someone has to build the dream. To engineer a bridge takes skill. Math and science fit the bill, and I-beams ordered from the mill. But someone needs to mine the ore, smelt the iron, pour the beam. Someone needs to weld the steel. Someone needs to build the dream. An artist makes a stunning plan, a masterpiece from mind to hand, a fountain both unique and grand. But someone works to dig the trench, lay the dreams, solder seams. Someone needs to plumb the pipes. Someone has to build the dream. A scientist earns a degree in physics and ecology. He aims toward cleaner energy. But someone works to tighten bolts, steer the crane, drive machines. Someone needs to raise the tower. Someone has to build the dream. Park designers sketch with pride amusements and amazing rides and sights to keep you mystified. But someone works to make the wires, light the lights, make them gleam. Someone needs to bury cables. Someone has to build the dream. An author thought up something new. The illustrator planned and drew to make this book for kids like you. But someone worked to set the text, run the press, load the reams. Someone had to make this book. Someone had to build this dream. All across this great big world, there's lots of work to do. It takes a team to build a dream. A skilled, hard-working crew. So when you see a bicycle, a playground, house, or shoe, remember all the someones who helped make a dream come true. And now it's time to sing This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Whoa, it's a lot of excitement already this morning. The reading, I want to read you a short passage from this book, The Generosity Path, Finding the Richness in Giving by Mark Ewart. 5 years ago, Mark spent 2 weekends here in Ames, many of you met him, helping us address our biggest stewardship challenges, particularly the money part of stewardship. That's when we changed our name to the Generosity Team to signify a different approach. I found Mark to be wise in many ways and very powerful in his belief that if one helps a person give money to a cause they really believe in, it's a gift to that person. From the book, generosity means freely giving more than is necessary or expected. So generosity includes the idea of open-handedness along with a connection to our internal experience and spirituality. Generosity's rich meaning is inspiring. It implies giving freely, so the giver holds choice and control. It's about giving more than necessary, so it's not limited by being required. It's more than expected, so it goes beyond the obligation to give or what is anticipated by the recipient. Finally, generosity ennobles us. It makes us great souls. And who doesn't want to be a great soul? He inserts little poems here, and he skips here to a quote by the poet Hafiz. Even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky.
Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning, a sharing community where our joys are amplified, a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. It's a tradition in this community to take a moment to share our joys and our sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of our community. This is a time of sharing. For those here in Fellowship Hall, please come up to the microphone here and say your name and share your joy or sorrow, and I will light a milestone candle for you. There's no one online. Then our last candle is lit for those milestones that have been left unsaid, those we hold gently in our hearts. May we remember those who have spoken, those they have named, and those we hold in silence in our hearts. Let us share a moment of silence together.
A poem from Marge Piercy. The people I love the best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shallows, and swim off with sure strokes, almost out of sight. They seem to be natives of that element. The black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn, are put in museums, but you know they were meant to be used. The pitcher cries for water and a person for work that is real. Dear friends, I believe the work we do here is real. It's real work. It's beautiful work. And it's not just for show. When we submerge ourselves in the task, we get things done. To paraphrase Marge Piercy's poem, the work of the world is common as money. Money is everywhere, like mud. And for some of us, how easily it flows, or how difficult we get stuck with it without too much thought. Spent carelessly, it can smear us with privilege and then crumble away. But thoughtful contributions, freely shared, well invested, support a good and noble cause and give life the shape of justice. If money is a thing of value, it was meant to be used to express that value. I believe the work that we do here is real. It depends on your generosity. It starts with your generosity and your dreams. Our common mud gets molded by the big possibilities that none of us can do on our own. And properly handled, our common mud can be transformed into adobe bricks that can stand for thousands of years. Dear friends, thank you for your generous support of this beloved fellowship. May it be so, and amen.
We will now give and receive the offering. Each month, we support a local nonprofit which has been nominated by our membership. For this month of September, half of the non-pledge offering will be donated to Project Koru. This organization enriches lives through community and the outdoors as a way to move forward beyond cancer. Their goal is to help survivors reclaim and rediscover the best version of their lives and selves. The other half of the offering will support programs here in our fellowship that make this a community of transformation. We'll pass the baskets here in Fellowship Hall. For those of you who are at home, please go to our brand new website and click on Donate. And if you have your cell phone here this morning, you can click on Donate as well. If you are visiting today, please know that your presence here is gift enough. And now, more music from the Fellowship Voices.
Pura vida toda está bien. Pura vida es felicidad. Pura vida todo está bien. Pura vida es felicidad. Take the most of what you're given. Celebrate with love and laughter. Let's join together now and sing. Pura vida, es
So when we were planning this service, I was pretty enamored by the idea of turning the tables and having AJ do the story and the generosity moment while I got to do his part. But now that I'm standing here, I realize I'm following him. My name is Sue Kierson. I co-chair the generosity team, and this is the 5th year in a row that I've had the honor and the challenge of standing here on a beautiful September Sunday, wondering just how to begin our annual conversation. Really, though, the wondering began earlier this week. And on Thursday, my eye was captured by a newspaper headline. This is my shortest column ever, for a reason. And the writer jumped right into a 1, 2, 3, that's it approach. And I thought, if this famous columnist for the New York Times can give advice to the President of the United States in that format, well, surely we could use that. So here goes, number 1. Our congregation is on a roll. We've been in this state of excitement about our future for quite a while now, but especially so since Reverend AJ dropped into our midst a year ago. With new energy and a booming voice in his enthusiastic presence, AJ convened a series of roundtables on the things we deal with all the time. Religious education, music and Sunday services, social justice and outreach, our building and our property around our building. He asked, what do you love about all these things? And what do you wish were different? A lot of you chose to participate. Really, attendance was quite good at the roundtables. And we dreamed big and we imagined ourselves having all kinds of potential, and the outcomes were in the form of some pretty lengthy and creative wish lists.
And I'm going to read from this wish list for you what we talked about. A drop-in choir, a paid music coordinator, summer camp, more youth participation in services, non-parent involvement in RE, expansion of childcare, a song leader, designated greeters and ushers, better signage outside and in, participation in Pride Fest, outreach.
Okay, stop, Molly, stop.
Leadership development, training for OWL coordinators, policy on building usage, new members, Fourth Friday potlucks.
Okay, Molly, we got it. Really, we UUs are full of ideas that do not end. Which brings me to another thing I read this week, an Aesop fable about some mice. These mice were living in constant fear of a resident cat, so they finally called a meeting to address the problem. The meeting went on and on, as meetings sometimes do, and finally a very young mouse said, "I have a plan that seems very simple, but I know it will work. All we have to do is tie a bell around the cat's neck so we'll always know when she's approaching." Oh, the mice were quite surprised that they hadn't thought of such a plan before. But in the midst of their rejoicing over their good fortune, an older and very experienced mouse stepped forward and said, "That's a really good idea. But who, pray tell, will hang the bell on the cat?" I have the feeling that you all know what it takes to turn wishes and dreams into reality. Just had a story about that, including the money part of creating the reality. The generosity team observed at our last meeting that a lot of the wish list isn't about really high-cost items, but what we know from experience is that everything we do costs money. For the building, the notices, the tech, the parking, the staff time, everything. And if I were AJ, I'd be asking you to say after me, everything we do costs money.
Everything we do costs money.
Number 2, our congregation is in transition. We're in transition as we begin a search for a settled minister. The search committee is in place, 7 really cool people, as a matter of fact. The transition team has been working for a year on pre-search priorities. We have a new shared ministry committee, and we have the professional support of our national organization. That means that the role for the rest of us is to be a community that is attractive to ministers looking for a job, to be the kind of place that you would want to work. In our faith tradition, each congregation manages their own search for staff leadership. This is a competitive process, and clearly money is part of the package. In our case, continuing a strong program budget, fair wages, and adding at least 1 part-time position to our staff. Our operating budget has long been healthy, but to realize our next steps requires some stretch kind of gifts this year, and giving that will grow substantially over time. If you didn't get to that email that everyone would have received this past Monday, please go back to your inbox and take a look. Notice the attachments too. One is a chronological list of every gift pledged this calendar year, without names, of course. As lists of numbers go, this one is pretty compelling reading. I expect you've noticed the alert in your order of service today. Thanks to the creativity of the generosity team, the absolute wizardry of our congregational administrator, and the magic of technology, you're now receiving a second email from us, which you're welcome to open on the spot and respond to if you've already decided on your level of support for 2024. If not, please let us hear from you within 2 weeks so that budget preparation can match our income. If you're a sustaining giver and wish to maintain your present level, no response is required. And don't forget, those of you who were here last week, Molly Helmer's testimonial and her offer that anyone who increases their giving or becomes a new sustaining giver can be entered into the drawing for for this state-of-the-art coffee maker that she is so graciously contributing. Thank you, Molly. Number three is about the inner part of giving, the most important part. The passion for a group that means everything to you, to me, whose values match my own, who's always there if I need them, a place that keeps challenging me, I love that part, and inspiring me, and a place that has allowed me to practice leadership, sometimes in experimental ways. Over the last 2 weeks, 4 or 5 different people have spontaneously expressed to me their commitment to this fellowship in the same kind of words I just shared with you. I love when that happens. It helps me know that there are a lot of you out there. If any of you here today are new to our fellowship, and I have the feeling there are some, or are visiting, there's a place for you here, and we'd like to help you find your special niche. It's true that all members agree to make a financial commitment to this congregation, which is entirely self-supporting, but the amount is always up to the giver. So that's it for this year. 1, 2, 3. We really are on the verge of being better than ever. We're dreaming big, and I invite you to commit with your whole heart.
Welcome to fellowship. Sorry about that. Welcome to the fellowship, we are so glad you're here. But putting this together takes a lot of volunteers. Someone makes the coffee, someone else helps plan the program, and offering a hand is a good chance to get to know them. I'm glad that I've got more involved, that there is no doubt. But too much of a good thing and I can't commit out. I'm glad that they asked me, but I should not have agreed to join that one committee, because now I serve on 3. Will you commit?
Yes, we'll commit.
To do your bit.
Yes, we commit.
The past few years have been a puzzle, but I know that the pieces fit if you commit.
Yes, we commit.
Your time and treasure.
Imagine all the things that we can do together.
When someone's in the hospital, there's someone making calls. The art committee hangs the work that brightens up our walls. And God exists, I thank her for my friends and daily bread. But I'm an atheist, so I'll thank the soup lunch volunteers instead. When we sing this new light of mine, that's when our teachers shine.
Working volunteers to lead the craft projects and keep those kids in line.
No, they're fine.
Discussions with wide young minds. But ask me to write the curriculum, no, that's where I draw the line. Will you commit?
Yes, we commit.
To your bit.
Yes, we commit.
Got ourselves a new DRE, and we don't want her to quit. If you commit,
Yes, we commit.
your time and treasure.
Imagine all the things that we can do together.
A committee for generosity will gladly save you cash. For jobs too big for volunteers that need professional staff. The nominating crew of volunteers to serve on our board. And they in turn will tell us what we can and can't afford. Will you commit
Yes, we commit.
to join with me?
Yes, we commit.
We're looking for a new minister, and I'm pretty sure those aren't free. If you commit
Yes, we commit.
your time and treasure,
Imagine all the things that we can do together. Imagine all the things that we can do together. Imagine all the things.
All right, that's one of those, I don't want to follow that moments, so I get to follow it. Sue was kind enough to let me say a few words about the music program. When I joined the fellowship 16 years ago now, I think Cynthia Martins was the director. And we had a really great period there. We had a paid accompanist, paid director, we had professional music staff. Cynthia deservedly decided to retire from that a while back, and then COVID hit. So Sam Warmley kind of kept the choir at the Fellowship Voices going after Cynthia retired, and then Jenny Molgard almost single-handedly kept us going through COVID, so thank you, Jenny. Made it this far. I think today, with Cynthia leaving, this is a perfect opportunity for us to ask her to donate, to generously commit to doing one final performance, not just a performance, but a whole service. So she's contributed massively, as you can tell. But this is also an example of more, right? So I was thinking of the Oliver Twist, Lisa, I want some more. So anyone who wants some more of this kind of thing, please keep this in mind. We're not just trying to push you here in the room, or those of you online, to give more, but to have professional music staff, as you can tell, changes the energy, it changes the variety of what we can do, it increases our participation, gives us more of all those, more energy, more variety, more participation. And we can donate time, talent, and treasure. And there will always be lots of talent to donate, but we also need to pay for some talent to really keep this level of energy and music and the services going. So, those of you here, those of you listening probably already give, so maybe it's not you. And maybe we don't need a lot more, but we need more. More, please. So if we can all just keep this in mind, encourage your friends, encourage those who come here once in a while maybe, but don't come all the time. Encourage everyone to know that among the many great things we're going to spend that more on is more professional music support. So we have more weekends, more Sundays like today. Thank you.
And now the choir will lead us in our final hymn, 1074.
When you're in doubt, follow me.
From the fire, living in the fire.
Yay, we are good together. Closing words for this morning, and then one more number from the Fellowship Voices. We are the ones we've been waiting for. May we be bold and courageous to chart a new future. May we have faith in a future that's not known. We are the ones we've been waiting for.